Welcome to About the Winelands. In this show, we will be chatting to leaders, influencers, wine producers, restaurants, and other role players. Tune in every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for your latest episodes. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. Hi everyone, and welcome to About the Winelands. Today I'm talking to Johannes Richter, a journalist at Wineland magazine. Welcome to About the Winelands, Johannes.
Hi, Walt. Yes, thank you.
How are you? Things going with you guys and the lockdown situation? Are you busy?
We're doing well. It's a it's a bit of an adjustment as it is for everyone, but we've got our hands full communicating to the industry, and we've got an important job, and I think we're doing it well.
Well, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit. Our listeners would like to hear a little bit about your history. Have you always been a journalist, and how did you become involved in wine journalism?
I haven't always been a journalist. I actually started in publishing. I studied at the University of Pretoria, where I majored in English and information science. I was one of the first students to do a postgraduate degree in publishing, and that was 20 years ago.
Oh, amazing.
So I started outside journalism. I was involved in the publishing industry for about 17 years, and mostly in academic publishing. But I've always wanted to write, and I kept looking for opportunities, and one presented itself about 3 years ago when I got an interview with Wineland, and here I am. So
Awesome.
That's a new career that I started.
So, I'm interested. If you say you always wanted to write, is that you're doing journalism now? Is this your ultimate, or are you going? I mean, are you planning your own books and stuff like that eventually?
I don't know. I mean, never say never, but I like shorter format stories and getting to know people and so on. With only 3 years experience, I think it'll be a while before I know enough to be able to fill a book, but it's getting there.
Well, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and it's the winelands are so full of history and stories, and so I don't think you'll ever have a problem to find short things to write about.
Absolutely.
And also things happening. So Wineland magazine and your business, Wineland Media, can you tell us a bit of the history and what you guys are about?
Sure. Wineland actually began 89 years ago. We're turning 90 next year.
Wow.
It's got an interesting history. I'll just go through a few key dates. In 1931, KWV created Wynboer, which is what it was named back then, to inform and educate its members. And then 6 years later, in 1937, it began offering subscriptions to the magazine. And in 1973, it became KWV's official channel to communicate to its members. There was a big change in the 80s when the focus shifted from being a consumer educational focus to industry orientated. So by farmers, for farmers, and by then it was already being subsidized by advertising. So we were moving to an independent platform. Then in 2000, Wynboer was renamed Wineland, and that reflected our focus on the broader industry, Afrikaans and English format articles, more online, getting to some different activities that I'll tell about later. 10 years later, in 2020, we became fully self-sustained, fully advertising driven. And we don't know, 2020 might bring something completely different.
That's interesting. So your readership, has that changed over the years from just your members in terms of the industry members to also maybe the public in terms of the stuff you're covering and
It hasn't, the core readership hasn't changed that much because the industry is pretty fixed, although it's grown and shrunk over the years, obviously. But after the subscription model, after subscriptions became possible, obviously interested people from the public, especially media, PR agencies, everyone with an interest in the industry are able to access the magazine, and that's also been growing.
Has the industry itself grown on your side from, say, just producing and the supply chain to things like tourism and that as well?
Yes, tourism has become a much bigger focus for the industry as a whole. I don't have many figures at hand, but it's almost 50%, if not more, of our product is exported. So it's a very key area of interest for our readers. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So you yourself, what do you what do you usually write about? What is the subjects that you cover?
I do a lot of personal interest stories because I don't have a technical wine background. I don't cover very scientific parts of the industry. We leave that to the professionals, but I do the common interest stories, a lot of marketing, media, wherever the story goes, actually.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're getting to do the nice stuff, right?
I hope so.
So I see always the company also publishes industry directory and this Wynboer technical yearbook and things like that. What are these?
Yes, we've got another publication. The Wine Industry Directory is an annual publication that sort of provides a comprehensive overview of the industry. That includes information on organizations active in the industry, wine regions, wine routes, and also the contact information of most sellers and producers. It's also an opportunity for suppliers to the industry to get some exposure, to talk, to advertise and get featured. So it's a very important platform for that kind of interaction.
It seems you're also doing some annual seminars and information sessions and stuff like that. So
we used to do an annual event. The official one was the Winelands seminar, but I think that's run its course now. It was we had a few sponsors. I don't know if that's going to change or if we're making plans, but it's run its course. We've done some informal sessions. The rootstock sessions also ran for a while. But yeah, at the moment we're shifting towards video production. In fact, we've got a video producer and providing some services in that regard.
I was thinking about that. I'm thinking, the Winelands itself leans itself so much more to graphics and video and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think the stories to be told and also from a marketing point of view,
storytelling is the thing. Yeah, that's what we're good at and what we'd like to focus on.
Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, so that is that something that you're going to develop more in future then as well? Of course.
It'll probably expand. The future is a little bit uncertain at the moment, but we'd like to focus on that.
I see on your website that you promote events for VinPro. Are you guys? How are you affiliated with VinPro? And are these events? Do you promote other events as well, or only basically?
Not really. No, we don't rely a lot on event promotion and so on. That's not really our game. I think our affiliation with VinPro is sort of a formal affiliation. Partly because of our history with KWB, out of which VinPro grew. Mm-hmm. They've taken us under their wing, but we're not really VinPro's mouthpiece. We're more the mouthpiece of the industry, although VinPro is obviously a big part of that.
I see, okay.
Yeah, we work very closely together. We also share the same office space.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, are you, in terms of subscription, are there still subscription options available then for your magazine? Although you said you're moving away to advertising based? Are there still subscription options, and what are they?
No, that's subscription is probably the core.
Okay.
Our magazine is part of VinPro membership, so all the wine stylers, producers, and stakeholders who are VinPro members or automatically are subscribed already.
Okay.
And then subscriptions are open to anybody who is interested, really. I can tell you about that if you're interested.
Well, tell us. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, the subscriptions are either both digital or printed. Everything's available on wineland.co.za. The printed magazine is 50 Rand an issue or 475 for 12 months. Or digital is 25 Rand an issue or 250 Rand for 12 months, which is very good value. And it's really industry specific articles, very tailored to people who are interested in more than just the wine.
Do you find that people are moving to digital reading of your actual magazine? Is that shift happening?
Less so. It's growing, but less so. I think because of the core subscription model. The people who get it, they prefer the physical magazine. It's a beautiful magazine.
They display it as well. Right?
Yeah, it looks good in your display. People drive around with it. They use it as reference in the vineyards, even. So the physical product is still very important to us, and I think it will remain that way.
Yeah, I can see that. So in terms of advertising, I mean, if an advertiser is listening to this, who would be who's your advertising market? Who would be a advertiser? What would that advertiser look like? I mean, your demographics, like you explained, are mainly the
absolutely. Advertisers are mostly service providers and people all along the value chain of the wine industry. Obviously, it's really not limited to wine. Everything that goes into vineyard, cellars, logistics. There are so many aspects to the production of wine, and so the magazine is really a platform for suppliers to expose their products to the industry.
I would assume also the financial services industry, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got financial, legal services. It's a big industry in South Africa, and everybody has a stake in it, especially in the Western Cape.
What about international advertisers? Is that something that you can still grow, or is that something that's happening already?
It does to an extent. It depends on whether they sell their products in South Africa, usually through agents, but absolutely all the big ones. I don't know, I don't want to mention the names. I might exclude some important ones, but all the big international players are all have a stake in South Africa. Yeah, absolutely.
So okay, so that gives you a nice, almost a permanent base of advertisers as well, because because of your subscription model, it really entrenches you into the system. Do you have any competition?
It does. Yeah.
Are there anybody that's really competing with you?
Not at the same level. I think we've got a very, very well-rounded communication media base in South Africa that are consumer-driven, enthusiast-driven, and we fulfill the role of industry, almost business to business. And I don't think there's anybody else playing that field.
Awesome. I see that on your webpage you have created a COVID-19 portal, specifically I think to help your readers and whoever's reading your stuff online to get more information. Can you tell us a bit more about what you created there?
Yeah, it's become a very important channel. I think if COVID has proven one thing, it's the importance of clear and trustworthy communication. And also, we're very close to the coalface. With our relationship with VinPro and all the stakeholders who are directly engaging with government. We're the first people to get the news, and we want to be the first to share it. We consider ourselves to be the mouthpiece of the wine industry. And as the only channel with equal access to all branches of the industry, we have a mandate to keep everyone up to date. The COVID portal is a direct result of that. So it quickly became a primary source of information for the wine industry. We already registered 46,000 visits in April, so it's really become a big source of information.
So is this interactive? In other words, what I'm getting to is it's not just from your side that you're providing information. Can people that read it also contact you and ask you to do things on it, or is it a one-way information system?
Well, no, obviously they can contact us either through advertising. I think it's a very good advertising space at the moment. People are visiting it from all over. They can contact advertising at wineland.co.za, or our general inbox is in@wineland.co.za. So if they have any suggestions, requests, or needs for certain types of information, they should get in touch. Absolutely.
I think, advertising is, I mean, the coronavirus have forced everyone to rethink their business model. And I mean, we've seen, I mean, I know your magazine is a bit different, but I've seen that most, I mean, in South Africa, we just seen that the Caxton Group had a problem there. And also the guys that published the Cosmopolitan and went under. And I think internationally, everybody, all the big publishing firms are reporting losses in advertising revenue. So with the coronavirus, everybody has to rethink their business models, right? So what do you guys, do you guys have any changes or new ideas in mind?
We're running through all the ideas at the moment. Obviously, it is a real threat. Advertising has been, especially print advertising, has been on a downward slope for a while already. And I think the current situation has just made it much worse. A lot of advertisers and service providers are struggling, and we're looking for different ways to add value to still be able to share and spread the information that we feel is important. But as you said, we're a bit different. We're not consumer driven, so we're not dependent on individual sales, subscriptions. As long as the producers and stakeholders survive and have something, have needs and something to say, we'll be there. We're not threatened on that sense in the same way that consumer magazines are.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So interesting times we're living in. So Johannes, yourself, I mean, your wine industry journey, like I said, it's been 3 years, but what is the most important thing that you've learned?
Oh, well, it's been a steep learning curve, but it's such an adventure. I think the most important thing for me as a Pretoriaaner who didn't really grow up in the wine culture of the Western Cape was getting to know the people and places. The wine industry is all about interesting individuals and local, vineyards, terroir, interesting places, and visiting them, being able to see and speak to these people has really aided and enhanced my enjoyment of wine as a product. So it's been a very interesting journey so far, and I hope it keeps going.
Well, it amazed me in the last few years how the wine industry grew, right? I mean, we now even have production in KwaZulu-Natal. Do you get to travel a bit to other places besides, your core in the Western Cape?
We do. We make an effort to visit these places. I've been up north to Winelands and those kinds of regions that people don't normally associate with wine. But they're big. They do a lot of exports. They've struggled in the drought. They have stories that need to be told. So it was a privilege getting to know those people. And everywhere else, we do a monthly series. It's a bit on hold now that we weren't able to travel. But the District Blik is a sort of an overview of all the wine regions in the country, and we make an effort to go out and meet people and speak to them and tell their stories. That's been very interesting.
I was just wondering, do you guys do any collaboration with international media or magazines to get the, the South African wine story, or maybe things that happens in the industry out, or is that not something that
There's a lot of communication. We tell each other stories. We obviously watch what they're doing, look for best practices. We benchmark ourselves and our industry against the other big wine producers. So there's a big international focus, but not really collaboration. I don't think many of them have really a reason to market to South Africa. They uh, not as an industry, maybe on a consumer level more.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so interesting, right? There is such a interesting space in the industry. So I have to put you on the spot a little bit and ask you, what is your favorite wine region or wine?
Yeah, that is putting me on the spot. I think I'll go the safe way and say the last region I visited was the Robertson area, and
Okay.
the variety and the producers there are just top notch. I didn't know much about them before, and now I've got a whole collection of wines from that region, and I'm just enjoying all of it.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So, Johannes, your own, you have to give us your own wine quote or your favorite wine quote.
Sure. My quote would be, "Don't wait for the stars to align before you drink your best wine." They're there to be enjoyed, and especially as we're locked at home, you're tempted to just stay with the cheaper ones, but dig into the cellar and take out some of your better wines. Enjoy them. I think that's what I would suggest.
And I think the biggest lesson everyone has learned to actually stock up. You never know what can happen in future.
You never know what will happen. By now, you never know.
So, Johannes, if somebody wants to get hold of you, want to subscribe, or want to do advertising, how do they get hold of you? How do they get hold of you guys?
They can contact our advertising manager, Tanya Matthijssen. She's at advertising at wineland.co.za, or they can contact her on 072 132 4120. Yeah.
And yourself, if a wine producer or somebody sitting out there that's thinking, I haven't been focused what do they need to do to get your attention to come to the area and to write something about them?
Contact us. They can contact me personally, Johannes at wineland.co.za. Invite me for a visit. I'd love to come tell your story.
Okay, excellent. Do I have to bribe you with a glass of wine?
Please don't bribe me, but my cellar is running empty.
Right, I understand that one. Johannes, thank you very, very much. I appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy. You guys are still working flat out, right?
We're working. We just came into the office for a big meeting today, respecting physical distancing, but most of us are working from home. Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect that you guys can actually work from home quite effectively, I would assume.
Yeah, it's a benefit of the type of work we do.
Johannes, I appreciate your time and thank you for chatting to us.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Will.
Thank you for supporting our show. If you would like to get more exposure for your business, please have a look at our sponsorship options. Thanks again for supporting About the Winelands. Please follow us on YouTube and on our social media channels. All details and links are in the description.